Hi, I'm Angie, and I feel sucky. Hey everyone, it's Angie here with the Gamer Crafting Podcast. Thank you for tuning in this week. I feel sucky because I feel so far behind. It's not even funny. And I'm so type A and a little bit controlling. I honestly don't know why Sarah puts up with me running the business together because I'm pretty insufferable. I fell so far behind with things that I just kind of felt like I was like letting people down and, drowning a little bit. So last week we went to go see It Chapter 2. Hated it. Sarah liked it. I hated it. Maybe we'll do a reaction video elsewhere because I don't want any spoilers here for people who really want to see it and haven't seen it yet, or to discuss things that might be potentially triggering or upsetting for people. Don't want to do that either. But we took a day off and we went to go see It Chapter 2, and it was fun, but then I felt more guilty for taking a day off when I was already behind, which kind of started this sucky feeling, self-hate spiral of doom. It happens. I think that we're just about all caught up now after Sarah helped me out yesterday and basically spent all day packing orders that probably should have gone out a few days prior. But a series of unfortunate events, running out of printer ink and then realizing I was out of printer paper and then the label printer acting up, it just kind of seems to spiral. And when you have a lot of things on your plate and you're backed up already, it just kind of like turns into this giant traffic jam of doom. So in an effort to be a little more calm about things and to be a bit more mindful, I decided to really lean into Spooptober, Socktober. Autumn is officially here. I had to wear an extra shirt when I went outside today. It's good times. I'm sorry if you really struggle with autumn and darker weather and rain. My biggest sympathies, but I super struggle in the hot, sunny summers, so this is my time. So I wanted to kind of show you all what I was getting up to today. I am prepping the launch of the Lady Monsters collection, which will hopefully launch next week, so like the 10th or 11th if I can get everything done. Hopefully we'll launch the 10th or 11th of October. It will be a bit like the OTP collection in that there's a bunch of different bases for each shade, but they are non-repeatable. So it's kind of get them while they're hot because they won't be there forever. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of show you what I've been up to today. I thought I'd show you kind of what I've been working on. So this is called Dryad, and it's going to be in the new Lady Monsters collection, which will hopefully release sometime maybe next week, hopefully this will release next week. This is on a superwash sock base. I also dyed it onto a plied chunky, that singles chunky I showed you last week, a sparkle sock, a DK sock, yak sock, I think that's it. And so those will all go up together. It's interesting though because this has obviously turned out very speckly. This is cold now. I dyed this yesterday and I left it overnight, which makes stuff that takes speckles a little bit longer, especially when you don't have a lot of space like I do, but it's definitely like probably the best way to do it. So this is cold now, so these will stay that way. This turned out much more speckly because some of the other yarns, I don't think that the chunky singles isn't super wash, so that turned out a little bit gentler in terms of colorway. So this is Dryad. I'm really happy with this. This came about due to some some wild theorizing and working with dyes that break in a certain way. When I say break, I mean that so you see that black there, and you see right next to it there's like let me get my finger on this plate. There's like these little blobs of red. That's because with this particular black, it has a bit of a redder base to it, so that if you're using it to speckle, you'll get it'll, like I said, they call it breaking. You'll get it to break a bit, and you see those kind of reddish
speckles. I have other blacks that have more of a blue base that break more into like more blues and a little bit of pinks. So I have four different black dyes that I use for different things depending on what I'm trying to do. This is probably one of my favorites for speckling though. Anyway, so this was the result of some wild theorizing, and then I did a couple of test skeins and I was just obsessed, so I decided I had to do it. And so I thought, well, it's too late for me to make this like a Halloween specific colorway, but I don't want to wait until next year. So here it is. And now I'm going to take you over here. What's in the pot? Yarn. It's always yarn. I had a friend come over once when I was cooking some, I think I was doing some like yellowish dyeing, and he legit thought that I was cooking an enormous pot of noodles, like enough to feed an army. So with these, this is going to be the new Gorgon, also in the Lady Monsters colorway. So this is only half done. This is only part one of the process, and in a few minutes I will pull all of these out and I will put them into a pan like this, and I will show you how I'm getting on with that. But yeah, I'm really happy with Dryad. I think it looks amazing and I'm really pleased. I think there's 3 different dye brands in this pan. I buy dye from a lot of different places in America, places in the UK, and all of them, their dye recipes are going to be just a little bit different. But when you're using things to speckle especially, that can have a huge difference in how something turns out. Like every black dye is not every black dye, if you know what I mean. Like I was explaining before, like it breaks differently. So if you're using it for speckling, it's going to have a wildly different result. I have one black dye that works really well for semi-solids, but is just garbage for trying to speckle. It just never looks good. It just ends up looking blotchy and awful, and yeah, so there we go. Okay, so here we have Gorgon, which I just pulled out of the pot. And so now it's going to get a speckle treatment. So I've got a few different greens here that I'm going to be using. And I'm just going to kind of speckle. This is hard to hold a camera and do this at the same time. Just so you know, in case you're wondering. It's a bit of a challenge. This is how much I love you all. And how much I wanted to give you more of the dyeing videos that you were requesting. Also because I'm really excited about this collection as a whole, the Lady Monsters collection. It's going to be like the OTP collection I did back in May? June? I'd like to be able to get to do more collections at some point, but right now it's just an issue of space. Basically because I'm only able to dye 3 things at a time, it prevents me from being more efficient. And I can't put more hot plates or anything in, or it'll blow the circuits. Because I tried that and it didn't work. So I'm sort of stuck where I'm at right now. But hopefully sometime in the not too distant future, I hope, I will be able to get some like actual studio space, which would allow me to be a lot more judicious with my time and be able to maybe have 2 days a week that I spend just dyeing, and the rest of the time, you know, or 3 days a week, I don't know. But basically to be able to have 1 day a week where I'm not having to watch pots, and I could instead work on labeling or whatever. Alright, that's probably pretty okay for a first shot, because these speckles here will spread a little bit. So I'm going to turn the heat on that. Something enormous just came through my letterbox, so I'll have to go and check what that is in a minute. So let's go over here. So this is going to be Harpy. Obviously I haven't dyed it yet, and I'm not totally sure what I want it to look like. So instead of doing this on camera, where I'm probably going to mess it up, I'm going to turn this off, and then I will show you what it looks like when I'm done, because I don't really know where I'm going with it as of yet. Alright, so I'm back. Obviously this hasn't been dyed yet because I decided what I wanted to do and I thought maybe you would like to watch. I went away and I was looking at a lot of different photos of harpies because I was like, well, I know that in most traditional folklore they're kind of bird colored as they are bird women, but I didn't really want sort of like a dull brownie color because I just didn't want that. So I decided to end up using an inspiration photo from the harpies that are in World of Warcraft, if you've ever played that. And they're a bit sort of more bluey, greeny toned. And also inadvertently started an argument in my guild's Discord. Not World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, about whether or not harpies have arms. They don't have arms, they just have wings. I'm right. Don't at me. Okay, here we go. I'm using a sort of blue, pale, sort of bluish toned green custom mix dye. Here we go. It's still difficult to see what's going on over the camera. Okay. Alright, so that's step one, and I'm also going to be adding in some darker turquoise, but I'm going to let this sit, and I'm going to let this absorb first. Okay, so it's only been a few minutes, but you can see, because I was using, because the yarn's already hot, basically, that most of that dye's already gone straight into the dye, or sorry, most of the dye has gone straight into the yarn. I haven't actually had coffee yet. Right, so now I'm going to add another color. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And I'm going to give it a good smoosh around. Just make sure that everything gets in there. Okay, so that's going to sit and that's going to cook for a little while. And then I will end up flipping the yarn and seeing what we think. I have a strong suspicion I'm going to finish this off with a really bright sort of neon speckle to really brighten up the yarn. So apologies if you're looking at this and thinking it's your perfect yarn, because I'm definitely not done with it yet. Alright, so most of that dye is absorbed into the yarn now, so you can see that there's not really much dye hanging out in the water. It's gone into the yarn. So I'm going to finish this off with some speckles, I think. And then later on, when I'm done filming, I will end up probably flipping the yarn and doing the same, or maybe a bit different. I don't know. I'm going to have to see how I feel. But I thought you could see this part of the dye process anyway. So I'm just going to be pretty liberal with my speckles. I feel like I'm on a cooking show. And if you don't have homemade speckles, then store-bought's fine. I'm pretty sure I made this joke last week. I definitely made that joke last week because last week I said neurotransmitters, which is still true. But it just goes to show you that my sense of humor is just goes to show you that my sense of humor is it's pretty stagnant, I think. I'm gonna add some speckles of this, because I think that this will really brighten up the whole skein and make it a bit more, I don't know, spoopy. This isn't necessarily like a Halloween collection, it's just happens to be coming out in October and have a monster theme, but hey, I'll take it, right? So as you can see, I'm using multiple different colors here for speckling. I've got like 3 or 4 pots open next to me. I'm sure you'll all know why I'm not giving you the specifics there. Although, to be honest, I don't know, if you want to try and copy me, you're welcome to. I'm not gonna, I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking about that, because that's not even something I really care that much about, to be honest. Of all the things in the world, to get really wound up about. That's not really it for me. But obviously, different strokes for different folks. Right, I'm liking this much more now that the speckles, I feel like it's got more brightness, it's got more depth. I just have to let this cook now and see what it looks like when I'm done, which probably won't be in this podcast, so you'll have to tune in next week for like the whole collection review. I won't be able to dye the whole collection today, so I can't show you the dye process for all of them. I'm sorry. But I'm really liking this though. I think that it's gonna look, there's gonna be lots of depth to it. I think it's gonna look rad. I'm really excited. Right, so that's it for Harpy, which I was stopping to think, I was like, which one am I dyeing? So I better go and hurry up and write this recipe down before it tumbles out of my brain, which has totally happened before, and then I'm left trying to like awkwardly recreate dyes based on whatever dyes I have like left, like chilling on the counter. Okay, that's it for this one.
So I hope that you all enjoyed seeing what I was up to and seeing some more dyeing. I'd taken your comments on board and that you really like seeing that. I was also thinking about doing some yarn ASMR videos with not me talking, because that's not ASMR, but sort of the gentle bubbling and the squishing noises. And I even ordered a microphone that's supposed to do really well at picking up those sort of more gentle, squishier noises while blocking out sort of ambient noise. So I even ordered a new microphone for that, but I haven't taken it out of the box yet. It only arrived yesterday or the day before. So hopefully that's something that we'll be able to put together for you very soon. Alright, so let's talk about works in progress and finished objects. I've not talked about that in what feels like an age. So I just wanted to show you some stuff that I've been working on that I finished. I've actually forgotten one of them in the other room, so I'm sorry, I'll have to show you next week. But basically that was the Fox wedding shawl that I started knitting, I don't know, early this year, and then finished it because it's a chunky knit shawl, and then didn't block it until we went to Perth. It is blocked now though. I am ready to show you. So I wanted to show you something that I finished. I actually finished these on the way up to Perth, because what is life if you're not leaving everything until the absolute and utter last minute, right? These probably won't show up super well because of the green screen, but I will have pictures available. So this is, yeah, that definitely doesn't show up where the green is. So these socks were made with the Emo Rainbow sock blank. Like, that just looks kind of grayish even in here, but this blue and then greens, obviously yellow, orange, and then red up here. They look a lot more impressive without like the middle part of it being see-through. But I did finish these on the way up to Perth, and then all of the sock blanks sold out at Perth. Also, check out these rad sock blockers that I got. I bought them on Etsy last weekend because coming home from Perth, or rather packing up from Perth, the sock blockers that I previously had, I kind of just shoved them in the bag that had all of the samples in it, forgetting that they were in there. And in my brain, I just thought, oh, full of soft samples, things that can be squished. And so I went to go shove the bag, and I heard the sock blocker snap in the bag, and I was like, no. And I can't remember where I had gotten them because I got them so long ago, so I couldn't even replace them. I had to look around and I couldn't figure out where I bought them from. So I bought some new ones, but honestly, I'm really happy with these because the wood is really smooth on the corners, so it doesn't snag your yarn when you're putting your sock on the blockers, which my other one wasn't sanded, so it kind of would grab at the yarn a little bit. So, I mean, it sucks that it broke, but, you know, this one has a star on it. It actually has lots of stars on it. Ooh. Has lots of stars on it, actually. You can only see one, though, because these are quite tall socks. So, I finished that. And there's a bunch in the shop now if you really want some moody rainbow socks. It's a double-stranded sock blank, so you end up with mostly matching socks. They're not perfectly matching, but unless you're getting something industrial dyed, it's probably not going to be perfectly matching. So it matches pretty well. It's double-stranded so that you can work toe up two at a time, or you can also make the choice to just unravel them into separate balls and work separately if that's your jam. I worked straight from the blank because I'm lazy. And I didn't feel like balling both of them up, and I thought, oh, this will be fine. And for the most part it was, so, you know. Anyway, but I finished these like a month ago. Almost a month ago, and I'm only just now showing them. To be fair, is because I knew that the other sock blocker broke in Perth, and I only just ordered these as a replacement, and I didn't really want to show you them on my feet, because that'd be hard sitting at my desk. I'd have to, like, do some sort of awkward contortion to get my feet in front of the camera, and, like, I probably would flip over the chair and crack my head open, so... Given how naturally clumsy I am, like, oh, y'all don't even know. I have so much yarn. The undyed yarn that I have is just, like, to this side of my desk. It kind of, like, leans against the desk a little bit. Is so high. It's stacked about 6 feet high, so taller than me, and I'm not short. It's stacked about 6 feet high, and there's already been 3 yarn avalanches, one of them in which I was involved, where I was sitting on the floor trying to straighten something, and, like, it all just went... which tends to happen when it's stacked that high. This is another reason I would love some studio space. I could have that all stacked neatly, or like in cubby holes, and not just in the corner of my living room. I wouldn't be surprised if you hear it, like, just all come crashing down during me filming this. Yeah, but that's already happened 3 times since yesterday. I knocked over a big folding chair just before I started filming. Sorry, downstairs neighbors, because that was mega loud. I'm constantly knocking stuff over. So anyway, the point is, me trying to get my feet in front of the camera, bad, is just, just not gonna end well. And then, also, before I started filming, behind me, on my kitchen table, which is used a lot more for business than eating. On the table, though, it's just covered with paperwork because I'm in the middle of filling out my visa renewal application, and I have to put together 5 years of evidence proving that I've been living here and that I haven't spent too much time out of the country and that I've been paying taxes and so on and so forth. I have to just give them just amounts of paperwork because I don't have a single thing that will prove the correct thing. I haven't worked at the same place for the whole 5 years, so I can't just do that. Anyway, it's a whole thing. But there's a whole stack of paperwork, and right before I started filming, I knocked the entire thing over. So that'll be fun to clean up when I'm done filming. I guess I can do that while the video's exporting. Anyway, so that was my finished object, was these socks, which I'm really happy with. And I'm thinking about doing some other versions. This really isn't showing off the color well. I'm going to have to, like, superimpose a picture over the top of this so you can see how pretty it is, because this kind of makes it look a bit dull and gray. I wish that I had the money for amazing equipment that wouldn't do that, but such is life. So a current work in progress. So I have a bunch of works in progress, which y'all will know from the video I did a while back where I chronicled all of my works in progress. Some of them I have since decided to frog and forget it. There was a pair of socks that I started over a year ago, and I literally did the cuffs, and that was it. It was a top-down sock pattern. Did the cuffs and hadn't touched it since. And I think it's because I didn't really... like, the yarn wasn't speaking to me, and that's why I didn't really want to work on it, because I didn't really feel excited by the yarn. I think that was the problem. So anyway, I decided to frog it, and I think I'm going to give the yarn to somebody else who will enjoy it more than me. And it's okay to do things like that. I did that at a job I had once, and I had been working on... I don't even remember what the pattern was. It's so long ago. But it was a cardigan pattern, and I was using a Peyton's yarn. I think it's been discontinued now. I can't remember the name of it. But it was sort of like a marled looking yarn because I was super broke working there, and buying Peyton's yarn super clearance is the only way I could afford making a garment. So no judgment on the I need to not use hand-dyed yarn to make garments, because I mean I do because it's my yarn. But I probably wouldn't buy a sweater's quantity of yarn Well, I wouldn't have then because I didn't have the money. Anyway, that's a completely different topic for a different day. My point is that I got about this far into knitting the back. It was a bottom-up cardigan, if I remember correctly, and I hated it. I didn't really like the yarn, and I decided after knitting that much that I probably wouldn't wear a cardigan. I'm not really like a cardigan kind of gal. I wear zip-up hoodies, but I feel like that's different than a cardigan. You might say, Angie, they're functionally the same. Maybe. The point is I don't really wear the cardigans that I've made in the past, so... But anyway, I gave the rest of the yarn and what I had knitted to a woman that I worked with who would have made the same size as me, and she was thrilled and made the cardigan and loved it, and I think she gave me a bunch of yarn that I liked in return, but I can't remember what. Oh no, she gave me, I'm pretty sure she gave me the yarn that I used to make my After the Rain sweater. I'll link it down below. It's a really nice sort of like simple stripy sweater, but I made it a million years ago, so I couldn't really tell you much about it other than that. I think I probably started it 4 years ago, finished it about 3 years ago. But that one is actually made with Drops Charisma, which is a natural fiber yarn, and I've really beat the hell out of that sweater, and it still, like, looks really good. It doesn't really pill that much, and it wears really well, washes really well, so, like, no shade. Use whatever yarn you can afford. Make yourself garments. Like, be nice to yourself. My point is, it's okay to decide that a project isn't right for you. It's okay to be like, it's not doing it for me. Don't beat yourself up. Just move on. Trade with someone, give it to someone else. You don't need to, self-flagellate on the yarn pyre. I suppose you could have a pyre made of yarn, but wool is flame retardant, and most natural fibers are. Maybe a pyre of... I'm thinking about this too much. Anyway, I wanted to show you what I have been working on, and it's something that I've been working on pretty monogamously since I started it because I really liked the idea of having it ready to wear in October. I'm not really thinking that's going to happen because it's now October 3rd and it's nowhere near completion. I'm a slow knitter. I talk about this a lot. I'm a slow knitter. I don't get tons of time to knit, especially not lately because I've been super ultra behind on things, and I feel really guilty sitting on the couch and knitting when I could be packing orders or tagging yarn or what have you. I don't really have this sort of healthy work-life balance thing down yet. Work in progress. Speaking of work in progress, this is what I'm working on. Again, the green screen's going to make it look kind of dull, but there's blue in here as well. It's kind of making it look a little grayish because I don't have professional lighting equipment. But anyway, my point is, this is the Half Moon Tee, and the pattern is by Dragon Horde Yarns, and it's kind of like a cropped t-shirt. I figure I'll probably end up wearing it because I do want to wear it this month, and it's definitely too cold for bare bellies in October. Well, maybe not for everybody, but it's a little too chilly for me. Anyway, so I was thinking I'll probably end up wearing it over like a black cami or maybe like a black long sleeve shirt or something, and a pair of overalls of dungarees. So this is how far I am. I think I have 2 more, I think, rounds of the actual color work of the moons here, which you can see. And then there's a stripe of the purple and then a stripe of the silver, I think. And then I think it's back to purple and then separating the sleeves. So it's not a million miles away because it's not a full length thing. It's more of a cropped length and it's short sleeves. So maybe, I don't know, stay tuned. But I'm really loving the knit. It has a lot of different sizes because I don't knit things that aren't size inclusive now. Even if it would fit me, if it's not size inclusive, I'm not gonna make it. So as you can see, my color work is messy. Don't judge me. I know that some people catch their floats every stitch, but I feel like that would take me 800 million years and I'd never get anything done. So, I do lazy color work. This is why I don't sample knit for people, because they'd be like, this is terrible. They'd say this is terrible workmanship, workwomanship, and I would say workpersonship, workship. I don't know. I'm overthinking everything today. My point is this is why I don't sample knit, or I don't do professional, like, test knitting for people, because I'm kind of a lazy knitter. I'm more of a product knitter. I want to have the done thing. I want to have it done so I can wear it on myself. I mean, I enjoy the process. Well, to an extent. I hate weaving ends in, which you'll know if you watched my rage video. I do have some kind of like weird puckering going on, and I don't know if that's because my floats were too tight or if it's just because it's crammed on these needles. I don't really know. I'm hoping that whatever the potential issue is, I can block the living hell out of it, and and then it'll be fine. I don't think the floats are too tight. I've not had that issue before. Anyway, blocking will probably fix it. But anyway, I'm really excited about that. I'll drop the link to the pattern in the comments. I saw a bunch of people were doing the Arachne sweater, which is like spider webs color work, and I thought about doing it. Maybe I'll try to do it for next year. I knew for sure I wouldn't get a full jumper sweater done to wear in October. I knew that was just because I think it's DK weight. I could be wrong. I think it's DK weight. I did do a last minute Christmas sweater last year, which was Carrie Westerman's. I don't remember what it was called, but I made mine like a neon green sweater. But that one was, I think it was an Aran weight, so it just like it zipped up. It knitted up so fast. Not so the case with 4-ply. Anyway, so that's what I've been working on, and I've really been enjoying it. I'm looking forward to the sleeve, because there's color work on the sleeves as well. I'm looking forward to the sleeve split. I keep stumbling over that. Sleeve split. I'm looking forward to that, and then hopefully after that I can just, like, zip it on up. I kind of almost wish that there was a way to automate the boring knitting parts. I know that's probably not very knitterly of me to say, but I also would really super love one of those fancy sock knitting machines, but they're like 850 pounds, and I kind of can't justify that in my life. As envious and green with envy as I get when I see other people who have them. Maybe someday I will have the money / space / time for a fancy sock knitting machine. I don't know. Anyway, I've been working on that pretty monogamously. I've not really been working on anything else, which is the same because I've fallen behind again on my Nihilist Rainbow Blanket. If you don't know, Nihilist Rainbow Blanket is the blanket club that I had for this year, and I wanted to have it done at the end of the year so I could be like, look, this is what you would get if you did the blanket club. I do still aim to have it done. It just means I'm going to end up doing most of it in November, probably. I'll probably end up sewing it up just before I put them on the website. Anyway, speaking of the website, let me move all of this stuff out of the way. I have all this stuff just like piled on my desk to show you, which is perhaps not the best way of doing things. Alright, so this will be on the website by the time that this video goes up. I'll probably end up putting it up on the website like as the video's uploading to YouTube. Again, this is not going to show up properly, so I'm going to superimpose a picture. But, oh, look, see through. This is the reverse Ravicorn yarn a bunch of you have been asking about. I had it at Perth. It's just taken me a while to get proper photographs of it to get it up on the website. So this is the same sort of dye process as the reverse Rainicorn and the Lady Grainicorn and the Lady Rainicorn. It's the same dye process, but these dyes are UV reactive, so they will glow under a black light. I don't know how much time you spend under a black light. I don't spend that much time under black lights. I don't really go to like raves and clubs because I'm old and boring. But cosmic bowling, that can be fun. I don't even know if cosmic bowling is a thing in the UK. I've not been bowling since I've lived here, so. Anyway, but this is Ravicorn. It's on Sparkle Sock and on DK Sock. Must remember to put the picture up. So this will be on the website by the time this video goes up, and I'm pretty excited about those. There's decent stock quantities of both, so I think if you wanted to do a garment quantity, you could. If you are preparing to go to cosmic bowling and you really want a sweater to wear at cosmic bowling. So I wanted to talk a little bit about stash acquisitions. You all saw what I got at Perth because I filmed the whole thing. The self-striping sock yarn that I got from Giddy Yarns and the project bags that I got with Moomins on them. So I wanted to kind of share with you some stuff that I got this week. Well, I showed you the sock blockers, right? So I showed you the sock blockers that I got, and I'll post a link up to that in the comments. I didn't buy this week, but I found it in my desk drawer, and heaven only knows how long it's been in there, but this is the coolest notebook ever. It's got shiny, sparkly star constellations on it. Where the hell did this come from? I don't know. Does it even say? It came from Hema. Hema? H-E-M-A? Okay, that's where it came from, but this has been in there. I don't even know how long. A year? I don't go in that drawer very often. I don't even know why it was in that drawer, because that drawer typically only has Sarah's guitar cables and stuff in there, so I don't even know what this notebook was doing in there. But it's huge. It's a really big notebook, and look, it's unlined. Like, this has so much potential. What could go in this notebook? I don't know. Do you all love notebooks as much as me? I obviously bought this in an overwhelming moment of inspiration. Being like, look at the unlined pages. But there's nothing in here. I've never used this notebook. Did I buy it and immediately put it in a drawer so that I could have the joy of rediscovering it? I don't know. It's possible. But it's a fabulous notebook, and it's really big. Bigger than my face. So I don't know what's going to go in here. It's not the kind of thing that I would use for a bullet journal. I need a little bit more structure. You know, the little grids for that. So... And I don't think that the paper is going to be right for the type of art that I do specifically, because I tend to use watercolors, and that's not going to play well on this kind of paper. So I don't know what I was thinking about when I bought this a year or more ago, and then apparently immediately stashed it away in a drawer. Anyway, it's lovely. I have to decide what's going to go into it, but I'm including that in my stash acquisitions because I didn't know that I had it until 15 minutes ago. So I also, this week, let me take it out of the packaging, actually. This week, I got my pin from Hannah from Hey J Yarns. Come on, camera, focus on the thing. Anyway, you can see it says, "Don't be a dick," and it's sparkly. I don't think the camera's going to pick that up because it's getting dark outside now. Anyway, it says "Don't be a dick," and it's white sparkly glitter. And this is from Hannah at Hey J. And it says on the back, 2 pounds from every pin sale goes to Full Fact, the UK's fact-checking charity. Which in these politically rampaging times seems like a good thing to support. So this is my pin from Hannah of Hey J that I got this week, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'll drop a link to her shop there below because I think she still has these, so definitely go and get one. Also, it's like, that's fun. It's a fun pin. It's a cool design. It's for a good cause. Don't be a dick. I also treated myself this week to a bit of an Etsy shopping cart. Stuff that I had saved in my favorites for a little while. Because I don't know. You know, you just like, I've been having a garbagey few weeks, and I kind of want to like get some cool stuff while also supporting another small business. You know, I mean, it's better than ordering mass-produced stuff, I guess. Sorry, this is probably really loud. Don't worry, it's recyclable cellophane. This is from a company called... hang on. This is from a company called Hand Over Your Fairy Cakes. They're on Etsy. I've wanted this pin for ages. Like, probably since the first time I saw it. And it says, "Books are magic." Look how cool that is. I love it. And as some of you will know, I have a sort of flight suit, boiler suit that I wear to yarn shows sometimes. And then I put all my fun patches on. If I could stop dropping this, that would be great. So I haven't decided whether it's going to go on that or whether I need to fully embrace the return of 90s fashion and go and buy a pre-distressed denim jacket to put my patches on and have a patch that says books are magic and pretend like I'm punk. So I got that from them, and I also got a pin from them. Whoa, camera just had a bit of a wild dance there. So this is a sparkly pin, and it says Furious Woman, and I feel like that's a mood lately. I don't know how the rest of you are feeling. I know there's a fair few of you who are not women who watch me, but you're probably similarly furious. Anyway, you can see that the background is starting to sort of like sparkle a little bit. It's because the sun is going down and the lack of light is kind of playing weirdly with the green screen. Anyway, so this is Furious Woman, which is, see, I can't hold on to anything. I just keep dropping things. I had a teacher in school get mad at me because she was convinced that I was dropping my pencils on purpose, and I was like, no, I'm just that ridiculous. And then I also got this from them. I got the matching Furious Woman sticker. And I also got a sticker from them, which is, I realize this is a bit premature, but I had to have it when I saw it. And it says, Christmas queer. Which is really funny. I have a pin that I got year before, from In a Box Designs, and it's, she does a lot of pun-related pins, and it's a rainbow reindeer, and it's like a reindeer, like R-A-I-N-D-E-R. But I thought that it looked aggressively queer, so I bought that a couple years ago. I have to find where that is, actually. Anyway, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this sticker yet, but I love it. And I think that was all that I got, right? That was all of my acquisitions. Yes, that was my acquisitions for the week. There was a couple of other things that I ordered in my magnanimous Etsy spendathon, but they haven't arrived yet. That's no shade against the sellers. It was just that this came really quickly. So I will perhaps be able to show you that next week. Did I even actually order that stuff, or did I just leave it in my cart? I'm not sure. Anyway, hopefully I'll be able to show you next week. So that was my sort of stash acquisitions for this week. I realize that it's not yarn, but I consider all this other stuff and supporting small businesses part of a stash acquisition. Okay, so you can see the lighting's a bit different. I just have to turn on my desk lamp because the background was getting really wild. So I've turned on the desk light. I am probably just about to wrap it up, though. I don't really have much else to say. If you're looking to get a Gamer Crafting Advent Calendar, they're only available for another week. So on October 10th, I will be taking them down off of the website so that I have time to dye them all and get them all packaged and boxed and wrapped and sent sort of the first week of November. I try to get them all sent out so they arrive in plenty of time for December 1st. And we're actually having to bring in a little bit of extra help this year for the advent calendars. Last year we outsourced a little bit of it. We're going to have to do a bit more this year because there are more orders and there's just a lot more going on, and we're both feeling a little bit snowed under as we try to put our efforts into other things as well. I've been working on like this writing stuff and figuring out what the heck I'm going to do with that. And Sarah's been working on some art projects and everything, and it's just been, yeah. So we're going to be bringing in a little bit of extra help this year to help us get all of that taken care of. But make sure that if you want one, you go and grab it before October 10th, because that's when they're being taken down. I'm not taking any more orders for those after. Clubs for October are up. The Mystery Club theme is Cursed. And there's the Mini Skein Club, and the Space Club this month is based on, was it the M81 galaxy, which is like part of the northern constellation of Ursa Major, or maybe Ursa Minor. No, Ursa Major. So head to the website and go check those out if you're interested in yarn clubs. I'll probably do a video about the Nihilist Rainbow Blanket clubs, because I've not really talked about it much this year, even though I've put a fair bit of work into making my own, and I feel like I should actually talk about it. running a business. Who knows what I'm supposed to be doing? And then the Ravicorns, which will be up on the website, which you can see through. And so that'll all be up on the website very soon. And advent calendars and Halloween yarns are now available for basically immediate dispatch for the most part. I have it in stock, so that's there. There's 4 different ones. Let me think if I can remember. I put on Spell on You, it's just purple and green. There's Eye of Newt, which is green and pink. There's Black Flame Candle, which has been the most popular one this year, which is black with neon orange and neon pink sort of pops of color. And I'm forgetting one. Reduce, Reuse, Reanimate, which is orange with speckles. I literally had to turn and look at the ones that I have still sitting on the photography background that I have sitting out. Yeah, those nice wood backgrounds that I have on Instagram. I don't have a table that looks like that. I have wood cladding boards that I glued together about 4 years ago and painted. And I have, I think, 4 or 5 of them, double-sided. So, secrets of Instagram revealed. Anyway, so I just wanted to share that all with y'all, and I'm gonna close this up and go make dinner for my wife and I, and then tonight we'll probably be recording the finale to Telling Lies, because we still didn't get to the end during the live stream last week. The live stream on Saturday this week, I think we're going to be playing Stardew Valley with all of my Halloween spooky mods, because I just have a lot of enthusiasm about Stardew Valley. And because it's not really a choice-based interactive game, we're also going to treat it a bit like an AMA, so like an Ask Me Anything. So come on, hang out with us, come to chat. Like, we'll talk about, basically anything. I mean, don't be weird. But we'll treat it a bit like an AMA. If you have something you want to share, if you have a favorite recipe you want to share, or patterns, or if you're a small business and you just want to come and like drop some links, like, it's cool, come hang out, it's all good. So that's what's going on Saturday. And then next Thursday, I haven't decided. Oh, no, I have. Either next Thursday or the Thursday after, I want to start doing something called a Pinterest challenge for some of the podcasts. So it would be, instead of me standing here or sitting here and just yammering at you about yarn and patterns, y'all can suggest something like a popular pin on Pinterest for me to do, and I will try it and I will video the results. I'm partially doing this because I invested in a nicer tripod that will hold my nice DSLR, and it's got an arm that like hangs at a 90-degree angle, so it will nicely film overhead shots. And I didn't have that option before. The tripod I had before was like kind of a cheap entry-level one, but that one absolutely just tanked, and like the metal literally like snapped off of my hands. So I invested in a nicer model, and I'm excited to use it. I'm excited to use the arm thing. So if you have a suggestion for a Halloween or autumnal Pinterest challenge, drop the link in the comments. I will have a look and I will see. I'm going to be trying to pick something where I have most of the stuff for it, so I'm not having to go out and like buy a load of random stuff that I'm not going to use again, because that's not very sustainable. But I will say that I do have most things. I have lots of art supplies and like loads of different glues and just random bits and bobs. So don't feel too constrained by that. I do have quite a lot of random crafting supplies because it's me hanging around. So if you have an idea, do drop it into the comments. I'm going to end it there. I said I was going to end it 5 minutes ago. I really need to go put dinner in the oven, or we're not going to eat tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I will have some other videos up in the next couple of days. Yeah, I don't know. Have fun and stuff. I'm going to eat M&Ms while I wait for my dinner to cook, like the responsible adult that I am. Thank you for tuning in to the Gamer Crafting Podcast. Tell your friends, like and subscribe, leave a comment, and stuff. All right. Happy Socktober.